If you're looking to start the new year with a bang and really bring in some technologies that are really easy to use but can have a huge impact on your classes, then watch this video. I'm going to highlight the 3 key tools that I'm working with at the moment, and I've just presented them to the ELAM conference in Canada. They went down really well, and I'm going to look at these tools because they do slightly different things. One looks at lesson preparation, another one looks at the interactivity in your lessons, and the third one really brings in lots of aspects, but one of them is also autonomous learning and encouraging our students to be more effective outside of the classroom. This will be totally relevant to any language teacher and any language student. I really hope you like the video, and if you do, please like it, please share it, please comment on it, but most of all, I'd love to have more of you subscribed to my YouTube channel. We're going to start with Gaston. I'll put the link below in the description. If you like working with YouTube videos, you like learning with them or teaching with them, then this is perfect because it will extract the transcript from any YouTube video via the voice, and then it will allow you to do loads of things with that transcript within the system. So generate true or false questions, generate multiple choice questions, generate lists of vocabulary, generate some of the key phrases from the transcript, even allowed you to analyze the transcript, translate the transcript, etc. So you can take a YouTube video and build learning content around it for free in an instant. Really like this technology, and I'm using it a lot in my own teaching and learning. Let me take you through it. So the website is called Gaston.live. And the incredible thing about Gaston Live is that it will generate for you the transcript from any YouTube video. Now it does this through the voice, so the quality is a lot better. Let me show you a quick example, and then I'm going to show you how easy this is to do. So I've got an example here. If I click on it, you'll see that I've got the full transcript of the story here. I can play the story by clicking on this button.
I used to run my own travel agency where I customized trips to London. I've now shut the agency down to focus on this very YouTube channel, so here are some things and travel tips that you...
Okay, so you can obviously just play the transcript back and follow. You can also search the transcript. So if I wanted to look for examples of the use of the word really within the transcript, and this can be really useful for language teaching because you can focus on language or phrases or verbs, then it will bring up all the examples from the transcript of that particular word. Now the other thing that it will do is translate the transcript. So if you want to switch the transcript into another language, and I've already done it in Polish, you can click here. You've got multiple languages. Click on the button. It will take a few minutes, and it will also allow you to do that. One other thing I really like about working with the transcript is that I can highlight anything I find useful. So for example, let's say this sentence here, I want to copy it. I can just click and it will copy that extract, or let's say I want to copy this sentence here, it will copy it for me. I can also just play this one sentence by clicking on it.
I used to run my own travel agency where I
Okay, I can also mark it. I can bookmark that sentence. If I find this useful, I can just bookmark that. And obviously I can work through the transcript. Perhaps there's another sentence I want to bookmark, and I can bookmark that. So that's some of the really basic stuff that you can do, which is very useful. Another feature I particularly like is that it will copy to the clipboard the whole of the transcript. Now you can actually export it, but if you want to perhaps copy it or something, then you can just click on this button here. It copies the whole of the transcript. You could paste that into a Word file so that you could provide the students with the transcript, perhaps after listening to the YouTube video. But now I want to focus on perhaps the most compelling feature within this system. Remember, you can take any video from YouTube, and in fact from other video repositories as well, put it into this system and extract the whole of the transcript. But then you can generate content, and a lot of us like to use YouTube videos with our students, and then of course we want to create activities around those videos. For example, if we click on the AI button, we've actually got here ChatGPT. And we can get ChatGPT to generate all sorts of content for us. So in this example, I got it to make me a summary. I then asked to make some comprehension questions, and I could carry on now and say, can you create 8 true or false questions based on the transcript? And it will do this. Now the nice thing as well, of course, is that immediately generates this content. You can copy it, you can edit it, etc. To copy, just click on this button here and it makes a copy of that part, and then you can paste that into Word. So I find this really easy. For example, I could say to it, because it's already generated a summary for me, can you create a gap fill activity based on the summary? Can you take out 8 words and provide the answers? And hopefully, if I press on the enter button, it's going to create a gap fill activity, and there it goes, and it's even provided for me the answers as well. Look at that. Okay, so really useful, because then of course any of this content can be clipped on. So what I like about this, and I use this a lot in my own language learning, is that I can generate the transcript from any YouTube video and then build activities around it to use in class or to use for myself as a student. So if I click back on my files, you'll see that I'm actually using this a lot in Polish, which is the language that I'm currently studying, because it really helps me a lot. So this is a great tool to suggest to your students, as well as something you might find useful. You can use this every day for free for one video, and obviously build a whole lesson around that content. Now let me show you how simple it is to do this, and I'll also show you a couple of tricks in YouTube that you might not be aware of. So I'm going to search for a business meeting in English at intermediate level, okay, and let's just see what comes up. Now, when you get this content in YouTube, one thing you might not realize, and it doesn't matter if the video has a transcript or not, because Gaston extracts the transcript from the voice. But you can go over to these filters here and control a lot more the videos that you extract. So for example, if I don't want the video to be too long, I can choose videos that are between 4 and 20 minutes long, and it will limit the number of videos. I can also filter and say, well, I want content that's been generated only this year. So I've got really up-to-date videos. So you're able to do that. Now we've got a video here that's 7 minutes long. I'm going to use this particular one. I don't know this video particularly well, but we'll give it a test and just show you how easy it is from here to then copy the link. So copy the link at the top of the page, nothing else, copy, come over to Gaston. All you need to do is click on Add Media, paste in the link, and then click on Add. And what it will do is it will begin to extract from the voice the complete transcript. Now, another interesting thing when it comes to business meetings as well is that there is a feature that allows you to detect voices, and it will show you speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, etc. if you are working with a video that has more than one speaker. So here is my video, all the content extracted from the transcript. Of course I can play it, I can do all the things I showed you with the AI, I can have it translated, I can copy the whole thing, I can search for phrases within the transcript, very useful for language learning. And of course, the one thing I didn't mention to you is that you can click on this button here and it will detect the speakers if you've got more than one speaker in the video, and that way it will show you who speaker 1 is and speaker 2, and that can also be very useful. Okay, if you like the video so far, please click on the like button. I think there's a new button to click on now as well called the hype button, which also kind of helps me to, or helps YouTube to know that people like my video, I'm going to switch over now and show you a totally different technology. And this one's all about interactivity. This for me has got to be the most professional looking, so the look and feel when you create content on Edcafe is second to none. So you can generate a reading activity or a listening activity, or for example a quiz around a YouTube video. Share the link with the students. When they click, it's really well laid out for them. They can answer the questions. It's all interactive, and then you can look at the answers and see what score students get. Incredibly, there's a free offer. I'll put the link in the description. This is a tool that I would highly recommend looking into because it does so many things. Let's take a look at Edcafe. I'm a real big fan of Edcafe, and I do actually have a paid account, but I'm going to use a free account to just show you that you can actually use a free account. Obviously, it's more limited than the paid account. If I click on Create New, and there's a number of these that are particularly interesting, but the one I want to focus on today, just because I think it's so interesting for us, is this one here, reading activity. And I'm going to click here and I'm going to ask for a specific reading activity, and then I'm going to provide some additional instructions. So I've asked for a reading activity based around the UK economy. What are its strengths and weaknesses? Can you make this text for a student of upper intermediate English? My students are business English students. And I want it written in a report style. Again, I've just put the level here. And just to make the point, and again, this is a technology I'm using myself. This works in multiple languages. I'm going to click on generate the text, and it's going to generate that text for me fairly quickly. Now, straight away, once the text is generated, of course, you will be able to edit the text. I'm just going to scroll down here to below, and what I want to do is I'm just going to click on these three buttons. So I'm going to add the vocabulary, which it kind of does automatically, and it seems to do a really good job of pulling out the keywords from the text. I've actually found this very helpful for me in Polish. And again, I'm going to scroll down now and add a passage quiz. I can choose the type of quiz, and we've got 3 answers. I'm just going to go for multiple choice, and I'm going to limit it to just say 10 questions. Okay, generate passage quiz. Now this quiz will actually be interactive, and what I really like is that when it generates the quiz for the students to do the activity, when they do it, it gives them a very well, not detailed, but a good explanation of their answers. And you can see it's generating the explanations as well. I can add my own questions, and now I'm also going to add the audio. And we've got a number of different voices here. We'll stick with Stacey. Notice that we've got obviously voices that you need to pay for, but you get a fair number of free voices, and we're going to generate the audio. Now, I'm very aware that there are other technologies that do similar sorts of things, but I must say I've been particularly pleased with the results that have come from Edcafe. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the save button just to save what we've done, and I'm just going to call this UK economy and save that. Okay, and I've got various libraries that I can organize. I've just created an account for you today to make this. As I said, I have a paid account. Now look at this. This is really important. We can assign this activity immediately. We can edit it. We can go in and change anything. So we can click on the edit button and begin to edit any of the content if we're not happy. But what I want to do is I want to show you what happens if we assign it. So we click here and we get a QR code. But what we can also do is copy link. Now it will collect up to 40 responses for free. I'm going to click on copy link, and I'm actually going to show you what this activity would look like for the student, because I think it's there that you'll see why I'm so impressed. So I've already clicked on the link, so I'm going to paste in that content, and it's going to bring open a page for me where I could do this activity with my students. So we've got the text here, and we can listen and read the text. So we just click on this button and test it.
The United Kingdom's economy has long been considered one of the world's major financial hubs, displaying a complex mixture of strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, so we've got that. And if we scroll down underneath, we've got a list of vocabulary terms as well to help us to understand the text. And if we scroll down below, we've got a quiz. Now I'm going to write my name in. I'm just going to write Russell, and I'm going to do this quiz. Now obviously it needs a name because that way the teacher will know who's done the quiz. Play quiz, and this is what I love. We get this layout here where we got the text on the left hand side, the audio to play, and we can answer the questions by just simply clicking. Okay, so I'm not obviously going to do that. I'm just going to go through the activity very quickly just to show you how good this is. Now, if you do the YouTube activity, it works in exactly the same way. The YouTube video will be here and the quiz questions will be on the right. I haven't yet found another one, in my opinion, that formats the content so well. If I submit now my answers, it will review the answers and give me a detailed explanation of my answers. And I didn't do very well, I only got 20%. And of course, all that information is sent back to the student, and then I get an explanation of every answer. And that's why I'm a big fan of Edcafe. Just a super quick break from the video just to say, if you do like the video, then please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. There are loads more free videos on the site. I specialize in making videos that show language teachers how to use technology. One other thing, if you sign up to the newsletter at the moment, then you will get a free 14-part course where I show you some of the key technologies that we can use in language teaching. There really are no tricks. Nearly everything that I highlight is free. That was all. Let's get back to the video. Okay, the last technology is Gemini Storybooks. I absolutely love it. I'm addicted to using it. It will generate a story for you with pictures, with text, with audio in multiple languages at multiple levels. You can control the characters. So I make stories about my daughter and her friends, which is brilliant for her language learning. I'm also using this in Polish. It's free. It really is worth looking into, and it's taking the internet by storm at the moment, and there's a massive interest in this technology in language learning. Let me show you how it works. The reaction to Google Gemini Storybooks has been incredibly positive. Lots and lots of teachers are commenting how useful this is. I'm just going to scroll down, go to my Gemini, and when you go there, you'll see, if you just scroll up to the top, that you actually have a button called Storybooks. But you don't even need to do that. You can just say, write a storybook on blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to quickly write in some instructions. So I've given it instructions to write a storybook about Russell's busy day at work. He had lots of meetings, reports to write, emails to reply to, calls to answer. He was so busy that he didn't have time to have lunch, and he didn't finish work until 6 p.m. Can you write the story for my business students of English who have an intermediate level? This could be in French or in another language. Can you include a range of people in the story from diverse cultures? So that's all I've done. I've written in the instructions. I'm going to click on this button here, and I'm hoping it's going to generate the story. The story's ready. I can click and just go through the story. We will be able to analyze the language in the story, but we can also listen to the story. Notice also that in the story, I can actually control to some degree the characters. So I've asked the story to be about me. So this can be really nice because you can do the story based around your students. I particularly like the fact that we can actually listen to the story as well. So let's move it back to the beginning, and we're going to click on the listen button and just see what it's like.
Russell's busy day. The alarm clock buzzed, and Russell groaned. Another busy day at, quote, Global Solutions, Inc. was about to begin. He quickly got ready, grabbed a coffee, and headed out the door, eager to tackle his tasks. His first meeting started promptly at 9 a.m.
Now I like this. It works around the language. It generates a story. It produces the pictures. I'm using this in Polish. I'm also using this to help my daughter because she's learning English. I can see lots of uses. You can print the stories out. You can actually share the stories as well. So you can actually share a storybook, okay? And it creates a link that allows you to share that storybook as well. That's another possibility. If you want to, there's also the option of, if we just close this down here, of extracting language from this story. So you could now use Google Gemini and ask for, say, 10 of the key words or 10 key phrases or some comprehension questions to go along with the story, true or false questions, a gap fill activity, a summary, etc. Let me just give you a couple of examples. So obviously this story is to practice the past tense, and so what I've asked for is a list of the verbs in the past tense from the story. One really nice thing to do with this obviously is to obviously watch the story, learn the story, and then get the students to actually retell the story. So very useful here. If I click here, I've got a list of all the verbs now. And another very important thing, of course, is that it's very easy, and perhaps it's quite a long list here because obviously I asked for a fairly high level content. I can click and copy. Now let's just try another example. Let's try to get it to generate some multiple choice questions for us. So I've asked for 8 multiple choice questions around the story to check my students' understanding. I'm going to click here and it's going to generate those questions. Now, anything that you generate using AI, look at it, check it, make sure you're happy with it. But I must say that I find this particular technology and the options and the fact that it's free really interesting. I'm using this extensively both in my own language teaching and also in the language teaching of my daughter. And one of the things that I really love is that I can make stories about my daughter and about her friends. And I think that really adds an extra dimension, as well as stories that have got a particular ending or a particular theme. Maybe it might be around trying hard or progressing or being disciplined and organized, etc. So I really like the versatility of this technology. Okay, hope you found that video useful. It's quite a long video. If you did, please click on the like button. Please click on the hype button as well. Now, many of you might be saying to me, Russell, what about Wordwall? You haven't mentioned Wordwall. They've introduced AI now into Wordwall. It's a very popular technology, particularly for studying vocabulary. And if you want to see and learn about the new AI in Wordwall, I'll put the video on the screen now. You can click and watch that. It's really worth looking at, and it's a short video. Thank you very much. Okay, really hope you liked the video, and if you do, please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. There's hundreds more videos on the website. There's a really popular section on teaching and using AI. I specialize in making videos to help language teachers use technology. If you want to sign up to the newsletter, then that way you can keep up with all the latest videos, the free webinars that we run, the courses that we run, etc. And at the moment, if you sign up to the newsletter, there is a special 14-part free course that you'll be sent. You'll be sent a video about every 3 or 4 days that really just focuses on the most popular technologies on my YouTube channel that teachers have reacted to. And that really builds up into a really nice course and gives you a strong basis in using technology in language teaching. It's completely free, and literally everything that I show you is a free technology. If you'd like to have live training with me, then think about joining me on Patreon. On Patreon, for $6 a month, you get 3 free videos from me each month without any advertisements in them. But the important thing is those videos are connected to a monthly webinar that we have where we meet live. And we normally work with the technology that we focused on that month, or sometimes it's 2 technologies, and we do activities and really learn to use those technologies well, so that then you can try those out in class or online with your students. The other interesting thing about joining me on Patreon is that actually you get access to all of the backdated material. So there's over a year of videos and live training. This training is very practical with lots and lots of ideas about things that you can do in the class or online with your students teaching languages. So it's much more practical than the YouTube videos, and you get that as part of the $6 a month. Okay, I'm going to leave some more videos on the screen that I think you might find useful.